Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in every person's life when they are faced with a choice, not between good and evil, but between themselves and their distractions, between growth and stagnation, between freedom and emotional bondage. And in that moment, the universe doesn't whisper. It roars. God, remove him. Let him go. Stay focused on yourself. There is a power in letting go that most people never truly understand. In a world that constantly tells you to fight for what's slipping away, it takes uncommon strength to release what is no longer meant for you. When something or someone exits your life, especially in a way you didn't expect or plan, it can feel like a punishment, a loss, a betrayal. But what if it's protection? What if it's a redirection? What if it's the divine answer to a silent prayer you didn't even know you made? You see, holding on is easy. It's familiar. It gives your emotions something to anchor to. But letting go, that's where courage lives. That's where transformation begins. Letting go is not about giving up. It's about rising up. It's about choosing your peace over your pride. It's about understanding that anything or anyone that disrupts your mental clarity, your spiritual growth, or your emotional well-being has no place in your future. You weren't made to beg for energy, love, or attention. You were made to attract it by becoming the most aligned, elevated version of yourself. When someone is removed from your life, it's not always because they were wrong or evil. Sometimes it's because their time in your story is over. And instead of rewriting the chapter, you need to close the book and start a new volume. Don't cling to something that God has already extracted from your life. That resistance creates suffering. But when you surrender, when you trust, when you release, you create space for what is meant for you. For you. Staying focused on yourself is not selfish, it's essential. You can't heal by obsessing over who left or why. You heal by building. You heal by investing every ounce of your energy into your growth. Build your body, sharpen your mind, cleanse your spirit, align your habits with your higher self. Replace overthinking with action. Every minute spent wondering about them is a minute stolen from your own evolution. You must learn to protect your peace the way a lion protects its territory. Not everything deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your becoming. Start treating your time, energy, and love as sacred, because it is. When you stop pouring into what's draining you, you begin to overflow with everything you once thought was missing. Clarity, purpose, strength, joy. People will show you who they are. Believe them. Stop trying to repaint red flags with potential. Stop arguing with reality. Start aligning with truth. God doesn't remove people to hurt you. He removes them to heal you, to prepare you, to elevate you. And sometimes that elevation requires isolation. It requires pruning. And yes, it hurts. But it's the kind of pain that refines you, not destroys you. Letting go forces you to face the parts of yourself that you ignored while you were busy trying to hold on. It demands that you sit with your wounds and transform them into wisdom. It challenges you to rewrite the narrative, not as a victim, but as a victor. You are not the broken pieces of someone else's indecision. You are whole, even when you're healing. You are powerful, even when you're in pain. Every time you want to reach back, remind yourself of who you are becoming. You are not who you were when you tolerated what was never meant for you. You are stronger now, wiser, clearer. And every step forward is proof that you didn't need closure. You needed closure. You needed courage to choose yourself. The courage to believe that what's coming is greater than what's gone. The courage to stop mourning the version of you that tolerated less and start honoring the version that demands more. Letting go is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. It's a declaration that you are no longer settling, no longer shrinking, no longer pouring into cups that refuse to pour back. You let go because you finally know your worth. You let go because you trust the timing. You let go because you're done surviving and ready to start thriving. God, remove him. Let him go. Stay focused on yourself. Because everything you seek, peace, power, purpose, that's not behind you. It's within you, and it's ahead of you. Keep walking. God, remove him. Let him go. Stay focused on yourself. You were born to rise, not chase. You were not put on this earth to beg for love, to chase validation, or to shrink yourself just to fit into someone else's broken understanding of your worth. When someone walks away, when someone is removed from your life, it is not your job to run after them. It is not your duty to ask why they changed, why they gave up, or why they couldn't love you the way you needed to be loved. It is your job to keep walking. It is your job to trust that their absence is not your punishment. It is your protection. Letting go is not easy. It will test your spirit. It will ache in places you didn't know had nerve endings. It will pull at your thoughts in the quiet hours of the night, replaying memories that once made you smile. But pain is a teacher, and you must learn to sit with it, not to suffer, but to grow. Growth never comes from holding on to what is fading. It comes from the release, fading. It comes from the release. It comes from saying, this no longer serves me, and having the strength to mean it. There is power in not reacting. There is power in not texting, not explaining, not splaining, not splaining. That's the strength when it's rooted in self-respect. Because when you chase, you are saying you are more valuable than me. But when you choose to focus on yourself, you declare, I am enough. And I refuse to abandon myself just to keep someone else. Focus is to keep someone else. Focus is not just a mental exercise, it's a spiritual discipline. It's choosing your purpose over your pain. It's waking up each day and saying, I will not allow what left to define what's coming. There is a version of you that exists beyond heartbreak, beyond disappointment, beyond the tears and the questions. But you only meet that version when you stop chasing and start becoming. God doesn't remove people from your life to leave you empty. He removes them to create space for what truly belongs. But most people never step into that space because they're too busy chasing what has already exited. When something is gone, let it be gone. Don't resurrect what God buried. Don't water what was never meant to bloom in your garden. Don't lose your identity trying to be enough for someone who couldn't see your value. Staying focused on yourself is not bitterness. It is wisdom. It is choosing your mental clarity over emotional chaos. It is saying, I will heal even if it takes time, and I will not hand over the pen of my life to someone who didn't bother to read the pages. The moment you shift your energy back to yourself, the healing begins. Your skin glows differently. Your mind sharpens. Your spirit starts to sing again. That's what happens when you stop chasing and start building. You were born to rise. You were not made to be stuck in memories. You were not made to be trapped in cycles of disappointment and regret. You were not made to shrink every time someone else fails to see your worth. You were born to rise into your highest self, and that version of you does not chase. She creates. She grows. She becomes. She becomes. The greatest revenge is not anger. It is not proving a point. The greatest revenge is rising so far above what tried to break you that it can no longer reach you. It is building a life so full of purpose, peace, and passion that you no longer care who didn't stay. You stop hoping they'll come back because you've become someone who would never accept less than what you deserve. That's the gift of focus. That's the reward of letting go. When you stop chasing, you gain your power back. When you stop wondering, you reclaim your peace. When you stop waiting, you start moving. And movement is life. Every step forward you take without them is a declaration. I am not waiting to be chosen. I am already whole. I choose myself again and again until I no longer recognize the version of me who begged for anything less. God, remove him. Let him go. Stay focused on yourself. Because everything you're looking for, clarity, strength, purpose, it's not in who left. It's in who you're becoming. God, remove him. Let him go. Stay focused on yourself. The future does not belong to the distracted, the emotionally entangled, or the ones who lose themselves trying to hold on to someone already walking away. The future belongs to the focused. To the ones who, despite the pain, the confusion, and the unanswered questions, choose to redirect their energy inward. Focus is the bridge between pain and power. It is the silent decision made in the depths of heartbreak that says, I refuse to break myself trying to hold together what God has already removed. You weren't created to beg. You weren't created to chase after someone who couldn't see your value, You weren't made to sit in emotional limbo, wondering if you were enough. You were created to evolve, to grow, to rise. Every time you attempt to reattach yourself to someone who was already removed, you delay your own becoming. What you think is love might actually be a form of self-abandonment, and the longer you stay in it, the more you disconnect from your own potential. Letting him go is not just about walking away from a person. It's about walking back to yourself. It's about coming home to the version of you that you silenced while trying to be loved. It's about realizing that no one, no matter how charming, attractive, or familiar, should cost you your peace, your clarity, or your future. God does not remove people to harm you. He removes them because their presence was limiting your purpose. And while your heart may not understand it now, your future will thank you. Staying focused on yourself is an act of spiritual warfare. Every day there are temptations to go back, check in, to reopen wounds that are trying to heal. But the focused mind says no. The focused soul learns to sit with discomfort, learns to endure the silence, and learns to alchemize that pain into growth. You do not heal by going back. You heal by moving forward. You heal by waking up every day and choosing yourself in a world that taught you to seek validation through others. Focus creates vision. When your mind is no longer clouded with thoughts of who left, you begin to see clearly what's possible. You see the goals you once put aside. You see the peace that was buried beneath the chaos. You see your reflection not as broken, but as being rebuilt. The most dangerous thing you can give someone who hurt you is your continued attention. The thing you can do for yourself is to reclaim it. The people who are meant to go with you will not require you to lose focus to love them. They will not ask you to compromise your calling just to make them feel secure. When someone's absence leaves you feeling lost, that's not love, that's attachment. An attachment, when misaligned, becomes a chain that keeps you anchored to the past. Let it break, let it go. Use that brokenness as the very foundation you stand on to rebuild. The future belongs to the focused because focused people don't fold under pressure. They grow. They grow. Focused people don't obsess over who didn't stay. They elevate. They understand that every minute spent trying to understand someone else's decisions is a minute stolen from their own progress. They don't try to heal through reconnection. They heal through self-discipline, through routines, through silence, through work, through choosing themselves even when it's lonely, especially when it's lonely. Letting go is not the end of love. It is the beginning of self-respect. It is the act of saying, I love deeply, but I will not betray myself in the name of love. You can grieve and still grow. You can feel pain and still push forward. But the minute you choose to stay focused, everything shifts. You stop looking back. You stop hoping for closure. You stop editing your worth down to make room for someone who never saw the full picture. You start becoming. You start attracting peace. You start moving in alignment with what God truly has for you. God removed him. Let that be enough. Not because you hate him, not because you're bitter, but because your future cannot afford your delay. Every second you stay stuck in what left is a second stolen from what's coming. And what's coming is greater, but you only reach it by focusing forward, not on him, not on what went wrong, but on you, on your healing, your growth, your becoming. Because the future belongs to the focused. And it's waiting for you to step into it fully.